I sat in my car across the street, hands shaking on the steering wheel. Marcus pulled into the driveway of the small brick house on Oakwood Avenue. Same house. Fourth night in a row. He got out, straightened his tie, and walked up to the front door like he belonged there. The door opened before he could knock. A woman stood there. Tall. Beautiful. She smiled at my husband like she'd been waiting all day just to see his face. Marcus stepped inside. The door closed behind him. I couldn't breathe. 3 months earlier, everything was normal. We lived in a quiet neighborhood in Detroit, me and Marcus, married 6 years. I worked as a nurse at Children's Hospital. He was an accountant for a downtown firm. Every morning, I made him coffee. Every night, he kissed my forehead before bed. We weren't perfect. But we were us. Then the late nights started. "Babe, I gotta stay late tonight," Marcus said one Tuesday in September. "Big audit coming up." "Again?" I asked. That was the third time that week. "I know. I'm sorry." He kissed my cheek. "I'll make it up to you this weekend." I believed him. Week 2, he stayed late 4 times. Week 3, 5 times. I started noticing other things. New cologne. He changed his shirt before coming home sometimes. His phone was always face down on the table. One night, I asked, "Marcus, is everything okay?" He looked up from his phone, eyes tired. "Yeah. Just stressed. Work is crazy right now." I wanted to believe him. But something in my chest felt wrong. The night I followed him, I hadn't planned it. I left work early because my shift got cut. When I pulled into our driveway, Marcus was leaving in his car. It was only 6 p.m. He'd said he wouldn't be home until midnight. I sat there for 10 seconds. Then I turned my car back on. I followed him through downtown, onto the highway, into a neighborhood I'd never been to. My heart pounded the whole time. When he parked on Oakwood Avenue, I parked 2 houses down. We got married when I was 25. Had 2 kids. Moved to the suburbs. Through it all, Dad was there. At every graduation. Every birthday. Every moment that mattered. But he never changed the story. Never slipped up. Never told me the truth. When I turned 35, I decided to search for my birth parents. I told Dad over dinner at his house. He dropped his fork. His face went pale. "Why now?" he asked. "Because I need to know where I come from, Dad. Our kids ask questions. I want answers." He stared at his plate for a long time. "Please don't," he finally said. "Why not?" He stood up and walked to the window. "Because some things are better left alone, Jada." That was 3 months ago. Now he was in the hospital with heart failure. And he'd just told me the biggest lie of my life wasn't true. The doctor came out. "You can go back in." I walked in slowly. Dad's eyes opened. He looked scared. "Why?" I whispered. "Why did you tell me I was adopted?" He took a breath. Tears rolled down his face. "Because your mother," he said, "tried to kill you when you were 4 years old." I couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. "What?" The word barely came out. Dad's hand squeezed mine weakly. "Your mama. Denise, she had demons, baby." Demons I didn't see until it was almost too late. I sat down hard in the chair beside his bed. My whole body felt numb. "She had depression," he continued. "Bad depression. After you were born, it got worse. I thought she was getting help. I thought the medication was working." He paused. The machines beeped. 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 One night, I came home from my shift. The house was too quiet. "I found you in the bathtub. The water was running. You were under." She was just standing there. Staring. My stomach turned. I covered my mouth. "I pulled you out. You were coughing, crying. I called 911. They took her away. She went to a psychiatric hospital. The doctors said she had a complete break. She didn't even remember doing it. His baby mama left right after Jalen was born. When Travis died, the state was gonna put Jalen in foster care. My chest tightened. I couldn't let that happen, Tasha. He's my brother's son. Keisha spoke up. I'm Travis's ex-girlfriend. From high school. When Marcus told me what happened, I offered to take Jalen in. But I don't make enough money on my own. Marcus has been helping. Paying for diapers, formula, daycare. Why didn't you tell me? I whispered. Marcus's eyes filled with tears. Because I knew what you'd say. The truth hit me like a truck. 2 years ago, we'd tried to have a baby. I had 3 miscarriages. After the 3rd one, I told Marcus I was done. I couldn't do it anymore. We agreed. No kids. I didn't know how to tell you I was raising my nephew, Marcus said. I didn't want to hurt you. Didn't want you to feel like I chose him over respecting your pain. I looked at Jalen. He was 8 months old. He had Travis's eyes. All this time, I thought my husband was cheating. He was just trying to save his family. We drove home in separate cars. At home, we sat at the kitchen table until 2 a.m. I cried. He cried. I'm sorry, Marcus kept saying. I should have trusted you. You should have, I agreed. But I get it. 3 weeks later, I went back to that brick house. Keisha answered the door, surprised to see me. Can I hold him? I asked. She handed me Jalen. He was heavier than I expected. Warm. He grabbed my finger and smiled. Something in my chest cracked open. Marcus and I talked, I said. We want to help. Officially. Maybe Jalen could stay with us on weekends. Keisha's eyes filled with tears. Really? I nodded. It wasn't perfect. Some days were still hard. But slowly, our house started to feel different. Jalen's laugh filled rooms that had been too quiet for too long. Marcus and I learned to talk again. Really talk. And I learned that sometimes the thing you're most afraid of is actually the thing that saves you. On Sundays, we'd sit in the living room, me, Marcus, Keisha, and Jalen, like the complicated, broken, beautiful family we were becoming. It wasn't the life I planned. But it was ours. And maybe that was enough.